Hello, everybody. Welcome back to It's Reading Comics. This week's episode 165. We'll get to talk about Thor, written by our favorite writer, Donny Cates. As always, you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcast. As always, let's get into it.
And welcome to the best damn book club on the internet. My name's Ryan Talmadge. That's David Crocker. And today, 5th Saturday of the month. Don't know
Saturday?
how. Did not.
It's 5th Saturday?
Today is
5th
Saturday.
Tuesday.
It's the 5th Tuesday of the month.
It's been a long night, folks.
Did not think we would do all 5 in one night. But we got done with 3 and we're like, I feel fucking fine.
And starting on 5, I'm getting.
We're going to squeak this one out.
We're cresting the hill, but it's not enough to wait till morning.
No. Thor. Donny Cates Thor.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
So I will admit, I forgot that when we were in our big Donny Cates phase, that I subscribed to this entire series.
So you've been paying for it?
I still have it. I'm up to, I think it's like 35.
Is he still writing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stopped at like 12.
Okay.
So I have like 20 something issues
To read?
just coming
But you've
in.
been paid for it?
It's all paid for. I'm in the when they have the subscription.
You're pretty damn close to
And it's just-
having an omnibus.
Oh yeah, it's still going. And I'm like,
Need to
all right.
cancel that.
Huh?
Probably need to cancel
I
that.
should probably cancel it because I'm probably not gonna sit there and read all this.
I'll be honest. I want to say like halfway through volume 2 is when I finally was just like,
Of this,
oh, because I was getting this weekly.
same.
And-
Okay, yeah.
And so I was, or monthly or whatever, and I was, I want to say about halfway through volume 2 of Donny Cates' run into Thor was when I was like, got fed up with my comic book store, and then also just finally came to terms with like, the way I enjoy reading comic books is in the collected versions.
Yeah, we
Week to
definitely
week,
went
I
through
do
a
not,
phase.
or month to month, I do not like.
Because I mean, the way mainstream comics is now, it's like 22 pages,
Yeah,
maybe, and
20 to 24. Yeah,
and it's broken up perfectly so that at the end of it, you're like, well, that was a lot of fucking information I need to remember. That's a big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I guess I'll wait another fucking month.
yeah.
And then you pick up,
And then
when
you
you
don't.
read it the next month, if you pick it up the next month, you're like, what the fuck happened? Where
Yeah.
did this, like
Where are
6 months later, you pick up the 6th next issue and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, why is this person important? Did we meet them before? Is this
What is
someone?
that person's name?
Yeah, is this a new person that we've met or?
Yeah,
But single issues.
and
is
there's
def-
ads.
Yeah,
and
if you
it's-
yeah,
Expensive.
yeah, it actually gets very expensive. But
And I really don't care to collect them. So,
well, that's why I like the Comixology thing.
Yeah.
Is it's like, okay, I can.
but for a digital comic,
Well,
well,
also-
you should not
yeah.
be paying the same for.
That
Yeah.
kind of takes me off. It should be like $2.99, not $3.99
Yeah.
or $4. Speaking of, I still have like random Star Wars High Republic comics coming out at my comic book store
Yeah.
that I haven't like bit the bullet and told them to just cut my pull list.
Oh, I thought you just get everything Star Wars regardless.
I do,
Okay.
but it's the High Republic shit's happening right now too. So,
Yeah.
but like when I go in there, like for like a month or two, it's like, yeah, here's your 10 comics,
Here's your like
and I'm like,
$50.
fuck, because I have not been reading these. They're just piling up in the closet, and I keep forgetting to fucking read them.
Yeah.
It's like, but then again, like the weird Southerner in me is like, I don't want to be mean and like,
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
stop record, like stop.
I want to support the industry.
Yeah, it's like I want to
as
support the
much as
comic
I'm
book
angry
store,
at the
and
industry. But,
it's like I want to support them, but like if I don't come up, they'll just not sell. They'll sell it to somebody
Yeah.
else. It's like just be the man and just tell them to stop. Just be like, look, I don't want to pull list anymore. I don't know,
finish out the Star Wars.
dude. It's never gonna stop. It never fucking stops.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. You think they've stopped and they just pull you right back in.
Yeah, but then you'll just subscribe on your, and
Yeah,
you'll
true.
just subscribe on your Kindle and
True. pay the corporation. Yeah. But I don't know. Before we get too deep in, if we need a little filler, you did have on here Waffle House theory.
Yes.
And out of the other ones, this one's I have no fucking clue where to even start, like what this is.
Okay. So recently, I went on a trip to North Dakota.
Yep.
Turns out there's no Waffle Houses up there.
There's no Waffle House past the Mason-Dixon line.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It's a southern. It goes Huddle House once you get.
There's Huddle Houses here.
I know, but like Huddle House has become like worldwide.
Well, I didn't even see one up there. So.
Oh Jesus.
But that being said, I got back to Alabama, and did you quit messing with your poison ivy?
No.
That being said, I got back to Alabama and was still craving Waffle House, and so I went to probably the most suburb Waffle House ever.
Okay.
And I think those are the worst Waffle Houses.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
You either have to be in the city, slightly dangerous area.
Hold on. Like what you're calling suburb is like where you grew up, suburb, like a Waffle House in like your town that you grew up. Or are you talking about like downtown Birmingham suburb?
No, that's not suburb. That's in the city.
Again, go ahead.
Suburb, like a Gardendale. I think while I was there, it was on the cusp of being too suburb. But this one I went in between Hoover and Pelham Waffle House.
All right, gotcha. Gotcha.
There's a lot of money in there.
Correct.
But I think you either have to be in the boondocks country, or you just got to be in the country, or you got to be in the middle of downtown. The more dangerous the neighborhood, the better.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the more sketchy the area.
Yeah.
Where, like, if Waffle House did it, they would have bars on the window.
Mm-hmm.
Type sketchy. Those are the best Waffle. I agree.
Or it's got to be like people so mad that they're working at Waffle House while living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or
so far in the country, it's the only food for like 20 miles.
And basically, when I boil down to it, I'm like, why is that? And I think my theory is there has to be at all times a threat of violence at Waffle House, or else it goes to shit for everybody.
Okay. I could hop on that train.
When I went to this perfectly suburban Waffle House, I walked in, no one said anything to me, and so I just sat myself.
Well, you're supposed to, but they usually at least
sometimes, especially a busy one, they want you to wait. But so I sat there, and about 5-10 minutes, someone was like, "I'll be with you in a minute." 5-10 more minutes later, I'll be 5 more minutes. I promise.
So you haven't even got a drink.
No.
Is it crowded?
Not
right,
that crowded.
Out of the 15 seats that are available.
I mean, there's more than 15, but I would say
never been to a Waffle House
about
that's
50%.
15 booths.
50 well, there's more than one seat to a booth.
On booths.
I would say about 50% crowded.
So fair.
With a full staff, though.
So fair.
With the full staff.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a pushing the problem.
No. Like, there was a spot available as soon as I walked in.
Yeah.
But also, they were calling out a lot of orders. But, and then finally, about 5 minutes after that, they came and sat me down. Or they finally came and,
so
took my order.
15-ish minutes.
And then got the All-Star Special. As I got my first plate of food is when I got my water I ordered. So, yeah.
Jesus.
So, my theory was the customers in there, because of where we are in the area, are too nice. So, there's no threat of violence there, which means the people that work at the Waffle House are too relaxed and aren't on their toes.
Okay.
I think that every time you go to a Waffle House, there has to be some threat of violence, whether it be from a crazy customer who isn't getting what they feel to be good service, or a
robbery,
or
worker.
that has had to deal with too much shit. And so they're on their
last nerve.
Yeah, their last nerve and shit. Because
it's like the only thing I can do good today is cook.
Because there was one customer
I'm gonna knock somebody the fuck out.
Because I should have known when I walked in, and there was one customer who was kind of like mouthing off, and I was like, "Do you know where the fuck you are? We're at a Waffle House. You don't do that shit."
They will take the frying pan upside your skull,
whip your ass, and
throw you in the parking lot.
That person won't be fired.
No, they will whip your ass, throw you in the parking lot.
Yeah,
call the cops, and the cops will drag you away.
Yeah, and then at the same time,
and then come back for breakfast.
But at the same time, those workers have to know this is Waffle House. These people get fucking crazy. You gotta get at least decent service to them, or someone will start acting a fool. And I think I was in just too nice of an area that like the threat wasn't there, and
which created a weird Venn diagram of shit like, surface.
I'm not a crazy person, so I'm not gonna like make a fuss about this. But also, y'all are relaxed and not giving me good service. So my Waffle House theory is that there needs to be, based off of geographically where it is, and then just also the necessity of both the worker and the customer better come in knowing that there is a possible chance of violence, just so the customers are polite and the workers give good service.
You saying that I'm running through all the Waffle Houses I've eaten at over the years of traveling so much, and your theory fits a lot. It fits. It fits pretty well.
Yeah.
Because I've been in downtown Atlanta.
Shit will be handled at a Waffle House.
Because I have been in downtown Atlanta eating at some of the best seasoned, griddled, podunk backwoods town that, I'm going to say, a big black man's behind, sitting there working the griddle, cooking the best fucking...
I remember...
Cooking the best fried egg
2012,
and the best omelet I've ever had.
I guess it was the 2012, but it was the 2011 football season. Chick-fil-A Bowl, Auburn versus Virginia. And me, my dad, and my brother went to a Waffle House in downtown Atlanta at 1 a.m. And luckily, because obviously it's a bowl game, we weren't the only people our skin color there.
The only light skin tone in there.
Yes, but
you felt it.
There was a lot there, and guess what? Everybody knew it was up.
Yeah.
If people start popping off, shit's gonna go down. So let's everybody be straight, and we won't have to fucking worry about it.
Waffle House at 5 Points in Birmingham is one of the better Waffle Houses I've ever been to. Because at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's the hobos and homeless running around.
Yeah.
That fucking
We've been there several times.
That shit's good.
And
but then you drive up to Fultondale's to get an early breakfast, and you're like,
Fultondale, there's still that chance there.
Yeah, but you still, but you drive up to that one, you're like,
less.
I can taste,
but
I can feel the difference.
There are, you can.
Huh.
And then you get out in super country.
Oh, then
people are just open carrying and not thinking about it.
It's the guy or girl cooking that's been cooking since they were 6 years old.
Yeah,
not knowing anything else but to cook.
Yeah,
that's
and then every customer's got one on their hip, and you better not fuck around.
Old cranky farmer in the morning or granny coming in for midday coffee and lunch.
You better not fucking...
It's like, don't piss me off.
They get coffee there every morning. You better not fuck it up.
Yeah. Tired old men coming in from working all fucking day long, wanting a decent breakfast or supper. I like it.
Yeah. The Waffle House there.
I like it. I like it. It's all right.
Because there was no threat of violence at that Waffle House. And service wasn't great. Food was not great. Up to the Waffle House.
Yeah. You're just eating to eat. There was no...
I was like, I guess I wanted Waffle House.
Well, the one here at the interstate.
Yeah.
It's subpar. It's got its days, but it's...
I would say
it's slower than dirt, though, too.
I would say you are very close to Huntsville, but I would think it's far enough out to where it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
But it's subpar.
Yeah, like I would hate... Unless you're right on the interstate, like if you've driven through through Huntsville, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
because the interstate runs just straight through it, and it's basically just a one strip down there. Unless you're on that, I would hate to eat at a Waffle House in Huntsville.
Oh yeah, it would be it'd be pretty rough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
interesting.
that
I
was
saw
my
it.
Waffle House.
I was like, I understand. I get an idea where you're going with the rest of these, but this one I wouldn't have figured that would have been the direction.
Yes.
I like it.
Don't eat at the Waffle House.
Yikes. Have I eaten it though? No, I haven't eaten it.
Definitely haven't eaten. That was the first time I've been there.
Damn. Well, shit.
Yeah.
I like it.
That being said, we did read a comic book this
We
month.
did.
This week. We read 5 this month. Donny Cates Thor.
Woohoo!
Go ahead and remind everybody who drew, inked, and colored and
So we've got our artist Nick Klein, color artist Matthew Wilson, letterer VC's Joe Sabino, cover art Olivier Coppel, and Laura Martin. And then Thor created by Stan Lee, Lori Leiber, and Jack Kirby.
Yes.
3 of them did it.
To some extent. Apparently with that Stan Lee doc on Disney Plus.
Dude, I've heard that they
Jack
took
Kirby's
shots.
Jack Kirby. I didn't finish it. But Jack Kirby's grandson or son, maybe grandson.
It's one of the. Yeah, I know it's one of the two.
I think the son had his son put out a statement for him, and he came out as like, "I didn't see my dad stress over an artboard for all that time just to be Stan Lee's character." He was like, He was like,
they were trying to say that Kirby did way more than which
But
makes sense. I mean, just think about like growing up, like all we knew was Stan Lee.
He was honestly the poster.
He's
man
the poster
for
boy, yeah.
Comics period,
Right?
And he was always pushing Marvel.
Yeah,
but just the method they used, he was technically the writer on everything.
Because the way they did it,
Even
he would write the script.
He would pitch a synopsis. The artist could use as much of that as they actually wanted to and draw the story how they saw it. And whether it had 0% to do with what Stan said or 100% of what Stan said. And then he would just fill in the dialogue. Right. So,
jeez.
Yeah.
Interesting times.
Marvel method.
Well,
that's how he got away with writing like 60 titles at once.
True. Well, we come to a Thor.
Yes.
That has no arm, left arm, missing an eye. That's how we start this thing. He's got a bionic left arm.
Okay, that's what that was.
Well, we start off with him, the Mjolnir.
It's basically right after War of the Realms, which we have read on this show.
Right. That was in our Venom series run, which, of course, it was a fucking Marvel's summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
So it had to have every main character had to have their spinoff of it.
Yeah, it was the end. Well, I think it was one. It was the end of Jason Aaron's run on Thor, which we've read the first 2. Very good. Yeah. And then they also knew Donny Cates was taking over next. So, yeah, we're probably going to have it tie into Venom a little bit.
Which is wild that Donny Cates, again, Venom, Thor, Hulk,
Doctor Strange,
Thanos. So he was that 5 of Marvel that he was trying to do at the same time.
Well, I don't think he did all at the same time.
Well, it did Venom, then he did, but still, they really fucking close together. It's just, sorry.
The way they swap over artists and writers nowadays, you can do that though.
Yeah. So we get to see that Thor can throw Mjolnir across all 10 realms.
Yes.
Which not even his father could do, which is apparently a feat. And he just looks
basically Thor.
He just looks
after
like
War of the Realms. Thor becomes king of Asgard.
We don't know what happened to Odin.
As much as he's always wanted to be like the guy. Yeah, we do. It happened in War of the Realms. He dies.
I thought she died. I thought the mom died.
I think both do.
Oh.
And B, I'd have to go back and look. But
I don't know. I know somebody dies.
Neither of them are there.
Correct.
So, but yes, Thor is now the king of Asgard, and either does not want it or does not feel like it should be his.
Yeah, he's definitely anti
being in charge.
Yeah. Which, again, the movie Thor, I've only read a few Thor comics.
Yeah.
You would have imagined that Thor would have wanted it.
Well, that's the thing. At the beginning, he does
Yeah.
want it so bad, and then
But now he has it.
through his lifetime, he realizes
Maybe I don't
being
really.
king is kind of more of a hassle than it
Yeah.
is a privilege. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
But I mean, early on, we find out that Mjolnir is not responding properly.
Yes.
And also, I like the way Thor looks in this because he's
for
got
sure.
like an Odin look. He's got
Yes.
an old grizzly look to him.
Mhm. And
Not
he
a fan-
redesigns the palace in his own thing.
Yeah, it's more woodsy.
It's not the gold palace.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of what they do to Thor when he gets Galactus becomes a herald of Galactus.
That shit looks awesome. I like that.
Oh, it looks cool,
The only thing I don't
but I
like is
really
the little,
like the like almost
where it
the-
looks like he has a unibrow.
yeah. But I guess I'd like the idea of that Thor.
Mm.
The Thor we start off with, like the Odin son, the killer, the god, the slayer look. But I definitely get the
Both are
idea.
good.
Oh, both are really good. Like I said, Galactus appears,
Mm.
and Thor becomes a herald of Galactus.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know he had like 7 heralds.
And I'll be honest, one thing I missed. No, I'm jumping like way to the end. But Galactus, like I said, I read in single issues. I read this whole thing, and I reread it this time. I missed the part where Galactus is the herald for the Black Winter.
Black Winter.
That shit's wild.
When I again, like we both read it,
Way
but I
to
read
just
it again.
Bury the lead on that one, Galactus.
Yeah, I read it
Piece of
again, and
shit.
it's like, oh no shit, he's trying to kill his boss,
Yeah.
like or his creator.
Mhm.
I didn't realize Galactus was like this powerful.
Yeah, I mean he eats worlds.
Yeah, but I mean the Fantastic Four have beaten him with so much less power than Thor.
Well, normally I feel like it usually takes the entire Marvel universe to beat him.
Okay, that
For the most
more
part.
fitting.
I mean, I guess Thor did it by himself this time,
But Thor also
he
has
also
the
had
power.
the power of Galactus.
He has the power of Mjolnir. He
Yeah.
is a herald. He then sucks
apparently
the
when
power
he
of
becomes-
Galactus, all the
Yeah.
worlds that Galactus ate.
Apparently,
He absorbed that power. So I mean,
Well,
he is like 6.
Not
He's
to
like
mention
6 power
he has
slots in one.
the power of Thor through Mjolnir,
Yeah,
the power of the All-Father, which apparently gives him more power.
yeah.
And then when Galactus makes him his herald, gives him the power of Galactic.
And he then takes the power from Galactus that he got from eating all the worlds.
Yes.
So he's like 4 power
He's
sets now in one
Like
body.
a walking nuclear bomb right now.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, they say one time when he strikes Galactus, it's literally heard.
It's heard
across,
around the
It's heard
worlds.
across all 10 realms.
Yeah.
Children wake screaming from their beds.
Yeah.
The power set that they give him
Mhm.
is insane.
Yeah.
It like it puts Thor on universal killing weapon
Mm.
size.
Oh, for sure.
Which I really love because that just feels
Yeah.
like giving a hero that much power just seems really good.
I will say, normally when you have a villain and it's just some cloud that eats things, not a good idea. Somehow made it work
It
here.
worked, but
Granted, he literally showed it eating the DC universe, but yeah, he shows it eating the DC
eating
universe
DC
or decaying the DC universe.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
at the beginning when the
And at the
superheroes
time,
were
this
running,
is
yeah.
when we thought AT&T was going to buy Warner.
Yeah.
And
They-
they weren't going to want
they-
a comic book company, and so there was rumors that it was going to get sold to Marvel.
Yeah, they played that one.
And then Donny Cates was like, "Oh, hey,
Really, I can give you a tie-in.
Yeah."
I can tie us in right now.
And the entire internet exploded like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!" And then nothing ever came up.
And nothing.
And then he wrote a book called Crossover and
Which
teased
the whole
Superman.
time was teasing Superman,
Yeah,
and then it wasn't Superman. And
it
it's
was
just everyone's
literally
like,
just everyone in Image.
y'all,
You play to be Donny.
like Donnie
We
was
thought-
sitting there. Donnie was sitting there holding the keys, going, "Hey kids,
We thought
we can have fun," and over here, like
it was a realistic chance that Donny Cates was going to cross over or combine the DC and Marvel universe
and
in,
Image.
in an Image book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the world would have
And we're
exploded.
all-
like it would have. I just
and we're all idiots.
Donny Cates did well. He played
Yes.
as well.
He got all the money.
He got every bit of the fucking money. One thing that they kept hinting at that
Mhm.
I know plays more in the upcoming issues and all was Mjolnir getting heavy, but never really
That-
explaining.
They do not address that in the next volume because I remember reading.
I remember
decently
there's
into-
pieces of stuff.
I remember next volume is actually like the premise that I remember is very good, and I would not mind reading it for the show. But I don't think it addresses Mjolnir. I think it teases it a little bit more where it's still getting heavier.
Right.
But when Loki picks it up in this, I'm like,
But
that's
Loki
a
did get his
storyline.
power.
No,
He just picked it up.
yeah, but still,
That's a big fucking. I mean, even
that
in
is
the,
a
even
plot
in the,
point that I would like to see.
even in when
Because
Loki,
if Loki
picks
is
it up,
becoming worthy,
who else is becoming?
that or the magic is fucked up. But
who
in
else is
this-
becoming worthy?
yeah, but in this they say like age-old magic that can't be ripped from the hammer. So
Right. And even when Loki picks it up, they go, and even a crazy king has touched the hammer,
yeah,
and it will be addressed.
that's a story for another time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, fucking shit. So Loki,
yeah.
dude, can you imagine if they actually give Loki, he
It
becomes,
wouldn't surprise me if they've actually done that before.
honestly, it wouldn't. Like, but also at the same time, how would we have not ever seen,
We don't go deep on Thor.
no, we don't go deep on Thor, but that'd been funny in Loki, the show, if they had dropped that.
Would be awesome.
that-
It's like
if they had
when
dropped
he's
him in
literally
the-
sacrificing
yeah.
himself and then pow.
Yeah.
But it would have ruined Captain America catching it. Because it's like, oh, we've already seen that.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So
I don't know. It's fun. I remember parts of the next volume. But again, it's kind of like knowing that it's gone 35 issues in. Where are we going with this? Like,
my only major concern is after reading the bulk of Donny Cates' Venom.
Yeah.
Kind of like the priestess from Punisher.
Yeah.
Donny Cates will sit there. Stop scratching your fucking thing. Donny Cates will sit there and hammer an idea. So all the stuff from Volume 1 of where he
oh yeah,
isn't sure
hammer.
that
Yeah.
he wants. He's super concerned about his hammer. He's not sure that he wants to be king. We're going to talk about that until it is addressed.
Every issue we'll talk about it until, oh God, it's having to be decided.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna, like, Thor will walk up to a tree and the tree will be like, Thor, it's time to decide.
Yeah. And it's like, because Venom was talked about how much he hated himself.
Jeez.
He didn't feel like he was a good hero and had to deal with, or wouldn't be a good dad. And they literally dealt with that all the way to King of the Black, or King of Black.
King of Black, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Donnie can definitely.
And
He keeps you on the hook. He keeps you on the
Yeah.
hook for a long time.
That's where that treat every comic like it's somebody's first
Yeah.
thing backfires.
Yeah,
which is
because-
why I almost say I understand it changes the complete economics of the comic book industry. We'd probably start after paying more for books, but we'd be getting whole story arcs, and obviously they come out fewer and fewer at a time. But honestly, I would not object if we all just went to trade paperback and skip.
Yeah, just
and
like
skip the monthly floppies.
like just put out the 6 issue. Like just put out the volume.
yeah.
And this is the story. This
Obviously, you're only getting like maybe one trade paperback a week,
month. Right.
And I doubt a comic book store can survive off that. But
You couldn't do a comic book store. You'd have to go to full
yeah,
online orders or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's interesting. It's fun. Knowing I'm pretty sure if I've got the right story, I wouldn't mind
I wouldn't mind
picking up Volume
Yeah.
2 on us at some point. Or actually, I have it. I just
Yeah.
would have to read it. But again, like you said, we will get this until the final issues in Thor.
Yeah.
Either
I am not holding ourselves to reading
No.
all the Donny Cates run.
we
Like we did with Venom.
we learned our lesson with Venom because
Yeah.
Venom, holy, oof. When we got
I can
done,
only
when we
listen to-
finally stopped reading Venom, I don't know if I was not like happiest I've ever
Yeah.
not ever been, but it's just like, okay, it's done.
I'm
Just
tired of hearing Eddie
I'm
Brock
done.
complain.
Yeah, which is like why The Last Man seems to be working. Is like each time we pick it up, they introduce a new thing.
Yeah.
Like something new gets introduced each
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, no, very good.
yeah,
But as much as we love Donny Cates, just realize that going forward.
yeah.
He seems to not have done that in crossover, but also, I don't know if a new issue of crossover.
Well, that's right. Is it? I think it's stopped.
Yeah, or it's on pause or something.
Yeah.
But we do have a draft in this month.
Woohoo!
The draft of relationship deal breakers.
Yowzes.
I went first last time, so I will allow you to go first this time.
Allow me to go first this time.
Yes. I feel like we're just going to be drastically different on these for the most part.
I think so. I mean,
considering we're both in two completely different situations.
I would say I guess the biggest one for me would be like spending money that isn't yours. Like, even if you agree to put a pot of money in if you have a joint account,
yeah,
X goes in the pot, Y and Z go to yourself. If you have your individual accounts, but each one you have your card, and you go, oh well, there's $100 dress I needed, and you just swipe the other's card. It's like, that shit's pretty fucked up. Like, without calling or asking, shit like that.
Surprisingly, I had nothing about money on here.
Oh, wow,
which,
really?
Now that I think about it, is surprising for me.
And again,
but I would think you would have like
these are not like
a joint.
Like, these are not like like full on, like, the reason why our relationship works is because this shit doesn't this shit doesn't happen. Like, this would be the stuff that would cause.
He's trying to cover his ass right now.
This is the shit that would cause our relationship to be a problem.
I would think. Never been married, but this is how I would want mine set up and think how it is. You have a joint account for bills. Anything left over goes into your personal. Or maybe a joint account for bills, a joint saving that you each contribute to whatever your agreed amount is, and then whatever after that, you can put it in your personal.
We like having our separate, and you pay for X, you pay for Y. That's what you're responsible for.
Then you get into the argument of, well, I feel like I'm paying an unequal share.
Well, that's why you agree to it.
Yeah.
Like, I own the house. I pay for the house. That's not utility, but the house.
Yeah.
She takes care of utilities because it's nowhere near the same, but it's
not.
It's
but
my
I
house.
also she works for the state.
Correct.
Does not get
you have to
same
weigh.
pay.
You have to weigh like, okay, well, I'm not going to expect you to pay.
Yeah.
What I can pay for shit.
It's not a true 50-50 and, oh, shit, you don't got to pay that?
You
Sorry about it.
You ain't got $20 to your name? Whoopsies. Yeah. Right. So it has to be like a percentage. The way it ends up with percentage fairness over anything.
Yeah. Me, as a single guy who has a lot of divorces in the family, my 1-1 is rushing to family status / wants to play house. Like the girls who think they should have a ring within a year.
Oh, okay.
And wants to be married within 2, and then is already planning on having kids.
And you've been together like 2 months, 3 months, 4, whatever. Like, you've been together less than 6 months and already talking about.
Like, haven't gone through a tax season. Haven't gone through a tax season and is already
lived
trying
together yet.
Yeah, and is like, when are you gonna give me a ring?
Yeah. Living together, like the whole, like, again, growing up in the South, of like the whole idea of like, you shouldn't have sex before marriage. You should not live with each other before you're married. It's like, there's a lot to learn from somebody.
Pretty two important things you should try to see before you
living with somebody
financially commit to someone.
You and me couldn't live together anymore. Like you and I couldn't live together.
I'm surprised we lived together the 2
3
years
years.
we did.
3 years. Well, the first 2 years we had roommates to kind of.
We had a common enemy.
Well, we had roommates to buffer the experience.
Yes.
But like, you and I couldn't live together because
the summer and school year we spent.
We just don't mesh. We did it because
David
worked.
sleeps with the TV on and I don't, and that was the main problem.
Yeah, but either way, you learn so much from somebody by living with them for X amount of time or having sex with them. Any physical relationship.
There is one of those on my list.
So, and a part of that also was like not getting. So my number 2 is going to be not getting along with the friends and family of the other person.
I can agree with that.
Again, a part like kind of going back to yours of, well, you can't like, oh, I'm already wanting family status, but if we haven't been together long enough for you to meet my crazy uncle that I love to death, but you hate like a sumbitch.
Yeah.
You meet him and we've been married a year and all of a sudden I can't see him because you hate him.
Yeah.
We got a problem.
Yeah. I agree. 2, just personally for me right now, wants kids. The crazy part about this is,
motherfucker.
because I feel like I almost combine this with rushes to family, but it's a big enough problem that I feel like it needs to be addressed by itself. But the crazy part is like when if all they talk about is how they want kids in a family, I'm just dead no, don't want kids. But the crazy part is when they say, oh, I don't want kids right now. It's a big responsibility. I could even see myself not wanting them ever. And I focus on career or just want to do stuff and have fun. Instantly, I'm like, okay, that's like, I would feel comfortable if I had a child with them.
I can see
it's
that.
not something I drastically want.
It's not.
But if there's an oops, I'm not like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's not, oh, she's going to be poking holes in the condom so she can have a kid to trap you. It's, okay, if it happens, we can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if all you want to do is play house, I don't want to fucking be there.
Yeah. Not, I'm going to go with, I wrote down not wanting to watch sports, making you miss them. As like wanting to do stuff like you want to do specifically, and the other one just like, oh no, you can't do that if we're together. Or
I will, since it's a draft, I will give this to you. The way I described that is doesn't let you have hobbies / can't be alone.
Okay, yeah, I did sports.
Because my 2 basic things are the nerdy stuff. Like, if someone's like, you can't do this podcast anymore, or you can't go play Pokemon anymore, then that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Or if they're like, you do all this other stuff, you can't then just come watch football all weekend long. And I'm like,
but that's a part of.
I was like, there's 3 things I love in this world.
Yeah.
It's reading nerdy shit, whether it be a book or a comic book.
Yeah.
And watching nerdy shit. And then playing Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And then hanging out with my friend Davis and watching football.
Yeah.
And hosting a nerdy podcast.
It's like to not be able to do that kind of stuff.
Like, those are my 3 things.
Yeah. To shut yourself off from
Yeah.
being able to do that just because they don't want you to.
Yes. And I understand there's going to be things you want to do that I think is dumb, but that's your thing.
You
don't have to do that with me.
Yeah. So what's your 3?
Since you took that one, I got a few I could take from. There's a couple weird ones on here that is literally just like, those are just funny, but also are kind of red flags. But I think I will go with, and I see it back when I was on the dating apps, but cares too much about politics.
Oh, fucking shit.
I don't care what your beliefs are, and I respect. Honestly, I hope you have different beliefs than I do.
Yeah.
Because then maybe if we do have a kid with that I don't want, it'll be well-rounded.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to live in an echo chamber where there's no challenging of people's beliefs in the house.
Right. If it's just, oh, well, we agree on this and that's it.
Outside of maybe religion, because that can get messy. But politics, it's like, out there, we can disagree about stupid shit that ultimately does affect us, but we can't change.
Right.
We can't change it, so it shouldn't affect us too much.
Right.
But like in here, hopefully, if I'm marrying you, you're like my best friend. So
yeah.
And I personally do not let my friends' politics affect my friendship.
Fuck no.
I don't give a fuck what they believe. If I'm friends with you, I've at least had a good ass time with you one time.
Oh yeah.
And
right.
So,
and that's all.
I care about you as a person more than what you believe. But that shit's wild on. It's like, if you believe this way, swipe left. I'm just like,
nope.
I don't care.
I am not gonna. If that's the basis of why we have to be together,
it's either side.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can't handle other people's opinions.
It's like you hate the other side so much that you couldn't even sit down and
have a
like
conversation.
you are so upfront about the problem that you can't even have a discussion about like, oh well, maybe you are wrong, or maybe I'm wrong, or
I've been wrong so many goddamn
fucking shit, dude.
I've been wrong so many times in my life. How do these people just assume they're never
Yeah,
wrong?
right. So my last one, I'm doing the not being able to work through problems together as a team, which kind of I guess pairs off of your like politics thing.
Yeah.
It's different
Does not
enough.
communicate well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. There is a marriage in my family where I legitimately call them out for not being able to communicate well. I'm like, y'all just go straight to yelling at each other after like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to communicate.
Like, again, you need to be able to
stay calm,
argue your points and why you want to do shit, but then also understand like, oh no, okay, you're right. Yeah. I'm wrong. We can talk through this. We can do this. We'll move this.
Like, for example, I think you screwed me on a quiz. Doesn't mean if I want to end our podcast.
Right. Like, I'm not going to jump straight to screaming, yelling, and blood murder.
Even though it would be good for views.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got knives. We can have fun.
I'm okay.
So what you got for your 4?
Okay, 4. How do I approach this? Boring or unwilling in the bedroom, if you know what I mean.
Vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla.
Spicy.
We come from the deep south where a lot of people are oppressed by church, by religion.
Sex is so regressed.
And we don't have proper sex education. And I know girls who legitimately are like, I'm only ever doing it to get pregnant. I think it's gross and not good. Yeah. Even though in the Bible says it's supposed to be good in a marriage, but they've only ever had it until then. And then by that point, they don't know what they like. And then I'm also a guy that's like, hey, let's try some shit. I don't give a fuck. And
we might not like it. We might like it.
Yeah. A girl that won't. I'm not saying she has to be like a pervert.
Oh, yeah, like
but
jump straight on the train, but like not even entertain the idea of.
Like, every girl I've ever dated, I've watched porn with them at least one time. And if you can't do that and then be like, huh, that's either funny or, huh, we should try that. Like, yeah.
But I get you, and that goes kind of back to like the spending time, like getting along with folks and like rushing to families.
I can get it if you don't like it in the butt, but did we try it at least once?
But like find out the problems before you just like. Why do you think the divorce rate is almost 55%?
Because people rush.
Yeah, you rush into it, you get married, and oh shit, 5-10 years later.
Just because you get a girl pregnant does not mean you have to get married to her.
Yeah, it's like 5 to 10 later. It's like, well, we have nothing in common. We hate each other. Get the fuck out of my house.
Why did we ever? Oh, because we were the last single people in our friend groups. That's why.
We just hooked up and we stayed together.
Yeah. Going through the other ones that I had. Weird pets. Anything other than a cat and a dog. And at this point in my life, I'm really starting to count cat as one of those.
I like that.
You took one of mine. So we already talked about that one. Too many piercings or piercings in the wrong places. The acceptable piercings I will take is earrings. Anything other than gauges, I'm okay with.
Gauges are so weird.
Gauges, no, thank you. Anything other than those, fine. Nose rings are fine, except for the little bull one.
Like the bull, like look like
the
an actual steer.
The actual nasal one, no, thank you.
But a little stud in the corner.
Stud or ring, I'm fine with. On the actual outside. Lip piercings.
No lips or tongues for me.
Tongues, I hear, are great for BJs. Never had one. Never had one with the girl had a tongue ring. But I hear that. So that's one of those I would be willing to try. Nipples, I'm actually fine with.
Yeah, nipples are.
Belly buttons are kind of out of style, but I'm okay with.
Never was a fan.
Yeah. I mean, and you can kind of throw
below the belt.
Yeah, you can kind of throw tattoos in there too. As a guy who has tattoos and is planning to get more tattoos, when it comes to my women, overly tattooed women, or a lot of guys find a lot of tattoos on a girl attractive. I say when you have tattoos, there's more of a chance that you turn me off than you do turn. It's never going to turn me on, but there's definitely tattoos that turn me off.
So my thing about tattoos is like
arms and legs.
As long as they're like as long as you've got a purpose to them, it's like,
Honestly, I don't care.
like, I mean,
I have silly ones.
but
Or plan to have
you're
silly
doing silly ones in a like, I mean, like just having your arm tattooed black, like having a full, like
that's
just a
fucking
black,
dumb. That's dumb.
just having your skin.
That's dumb, or
completely inked
you
black.
had something racist covered up.
Yeah. But like stuff that at least like has a purpose of your own, something that at least has your own purpose, not just completely 100% tattooed.
Yeah. But and then like I said, where it is and what type is
Again,
a big thing.
Nothing below the belt.
Yeah, no.
Well, belt to like high thigh.
Waist. Yeah.
Yeah.
But legs and arms, whatever. Back,
Dude,
sure.
There's a video going around on Reels. Was this girl had an octopusy made?
Nope.
And it's literally the tentacles are crawling up out the side, the head's going up her stomach,
That's so fucking
and
stupid.
the mouth.
I remember somebody's sister decided they were gonna get the New Age tramp stamp, which is the hip bone, no longer the back.
Yeah.
The hip bone is the New Age tramp stamp. And they wanted a scorpion because they were a Scorpio.
Yeah.
And me and you had to tell her, every time I think gonna go down on you, I'm gonna think that vagina's poisonous. And she's like, well, I want to do something for Scorpio. And I was like, get like
Do you really fucking care about astrology that fucking much?
And I was like, I mean, it's still tramp stamping because of the location, and also it's a ribbon, but you can just get a ribbon with the Scorpio logo. Because I know they have logos that doesn't have an actual scorpion on it. And she was like, oh, I like that. And I was like, I bet you do, you whore. Sorry, you know who you are. I had one more talks down on you, obviously.
Like the only really one I had left was not being able to laugh with each other.
Yeah.
Either at each other, like not at each other in a degrading way.
How do you get with someone you don't
I know a couple.
I bet.
But
if you can't make me laugh, what are we doing?
Well, it's not even just make you laugh, but like if you mess up in not like a degrading way, like can make fun of you to make you feel better.
Oh yeah, you have to be able to roast each other.
Yeah, without turning it into like a degrading shit.
Yeah.
But in a healthy way. And that's really all I had.
And don't take yourself too serious.
Yeah. But
that's my TED Talk on relationships from a single guy who's not married.
Yeah. It's a great relationship, buddy.
And by the time you're listening to it, 20... Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, now I'm done. Next month, don't know.
Not a clue.
Check Instagram. Jesus Christ. All right. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.